Hey, it's Ivan Slavic here. Here's a video I put together about Canberra, Australia. That's the National Library that you just saw there, Lake Burley Griffin, and the famous fountain. I'll tell you a little bit about the city, its history, and its people, the National Museum there on the left, and Black Mountain Tower. Canberra is the capital city of Australia, founded following the Federation of the Colonies of Australia, which happened in 1901. And it's the largest inland city and the 8th largest city overall. And it's a completely planned city, which is quite unusual compared to the other Australian cities. The city is located in the northern part of the Australian Capital Territory and the northern tip of the Australian Alps, and it has the country's highest mountain range. As of September 2021, Canberra's estimated population is around 450,000. The name Canberra is an Aboriginal word meaning meeting place. The area chosen for the capital had been inhabited by Indigenous Australians for up to 21,000 years, with the principal group being the Ngunnawal people. European settlement commenced in the first half of the 19th century, as evidenced by surviving landmarks such as St John's Anglican Church and Blundell's Cottage. That's a globe showing the voyages of Captain James Cook. And that's Regatta Point, with fantastic views of the lake and a great place to watch skyfire. On the 1st of January 1901, Federation of the Colonies of Australia was achieved. Following a long dispute over whether Sydney or Melbourne should be the national capital, a compromise was reached. The new capital would be built in New South Wales so long as it was at least 100 miles or 160 kilometres from Sydney. The capital city was founded and formally named as Canberra in 1913. A blueprint by American architects Walter Burley Griffin and Marion Mahoney Griffin was selected after an international design contest, and construction commenced in 1913. Here you see some fantastic tulips and flowers on the world famous Floriade, which happens every year in Canberra. There are normally more than 60,000 blooms in Commonwealth Park. The Griffin's plan featured geometric motifs and was centred on axes aligned with significant topographical landmarks such as Black Mountain, Mount Ainslie, Capitol Hill and City Hill. Canberra's mountainous location makes it the only mainland Australian city where snow-capped mountains can be seen in winter, although snow in the city is pretty rare. As the seat of the Government of Australia, Canberra is home to many important institutions of the federal government, national monuments and museums. This includes Parliament House, Government House, the High Court and the headquarters of numerous government agencies, many of which you can see around the lake. It is the location of many social and cultural institutions of national significance such as the Australian War Memorial, the Australian National University, the Royal Australian Mint, the Australian Institute of Sport, the National Gallery, the National Museum and the National Library. The city is home to many important institutions of the Australian Defence Force, including the Royal Military College, Duntroon, and the Australian Defence Force Academy. Here you can see Reconciliation Place, the old Parliament House, which is the white building, and the Parliament House at the back. An OECD report ranked Canberra as the most livable city in the world out of their 362 regions and 34 member nations in its survey. Located on Aspen Island, Lake Burley Griffin, the National Carillon was a gift from the British government to the people of Australia to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the national capital. Rising 50 metres, no doubt for the 50th anniversary, it has 57 bronze bells and is very large by world standards and plays beautiful music as you walk around the lake. The Anchor Memorial commemorates HMAS Canberra and those who served in her. In 1942, during the World War II, the Australian heavy cruiser HMAS Canberra was lost in action in the Solomon Islands. The National Police Memorial Australia commemorates Australian police who have died on duty. Originally called Federal Avenue, this bridge was renamed Kings Avenue after King George V. The Australian American Memorial commemorates the help given by the United States during the Pacific War. Walking over Kings Avenue, looking back on Lake Burley Griffin, the fountain you can see in the distance, and the Carillon donated by the British. And yours truly with my lovely wife Anna. This very impressive Bowen Place crossing was constructed for $10 million, and it's really impressive. The High Court of Australia is the highest court of the land and featured in the movie The Castle. Those countries with diplomatic missions in Canberra have a flag here represented by the lake. See if you can recognise them. They are in alphabetical order from A to Z. Reconciliation Place, representing the reconciliation with Indigenous Australians. Looking back at the Australian War Memorial in Mount Ainslie, conceived by Charles Bean, more than 100,000 Australians have made the ultimate sacrifice, so it's a very sacred place. Three important flags for me: the Ukrainian flag, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America, the Ukrainian because of my heritage, the United Kingdom and the US because of AUKUS, the Australian, UK and American alliance, a strong bond and partnership to keep our democracies very strong. Recipients of the Australian of the Year awards are showcased here by the lake. The impressive Commonwealth Bridge looking back to Parliament House. Floriade is the largest flower festival in the Southern Hemisphere, and despite COVID, these plants were planted and they're so impressive the public can walk around, but it's obviously restricted due to COVID. Nevertheless, still very impressive. Thanks for watching my video about Canberra. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll leave you with the lovely flowers of Floriade to finish it off.